Drew, it's been a while, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Brad. How are you?
I'm good. You know who I'm better than?
Who are you better than?
The new defensive coordinator for Gulf Shores High. Do you know who that is?
I feel like I should know who that is.
Uncle Rico himself, the man who gave us the amazing Philip Marshall meme of Brian Van Gorder has made his way down to Alabama high school football.
So instead of throwing it over that mountain over there, is he going to throw it over that sand dune right over there?
Pretty much.
Okay.
You know, Early, sometimes them football boosters will provide your family with a car or even house if you keep nice and quiet about it. They're going to do what now?
Welcome to the place where if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying is a way of life.
Just keep it down home, cuz.
Where degenerate gamblers can congregate in peace.
Money, yeah. Money, yeah.
Where screaming at 20-year-old kids on TV is just another Saturday.
Every fiber in your bone, and you take it and you beat the piss out of them. I'm talking about beat the piss out of them. Let's go whip their ass. Let's go.
Where game days don't end until the Rainbow Warriors say so.
It hits the upright. Oh my God! It hits the left upright. It hits the left upright.
They are the bagmen that Danny Sheridan never found.
I went to him with a strong-ass offer.
And it all comes to you with a splash of bourbon on the side. Woo! This is the Friends of the Program podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends of the Program podcast. I'm Brad. He's Drew as we get set to walk you through Auburn sports today and this week. We know we're off for a week. Life gets in the way. Sometimes I had to burp right there.
Whoa, there
awesome way to
that's
start the
nice.
show.
Yeah, awesome.
That's what happens when you drink the
That's a
Van
burp.
Dam sour red ale.
Yeah, that's
before you
a
actually come on
burst.
before you ever came on the show. Life gets in the way, though. I had to go to work and do stuff in a whole nother state last week, so it happens.
Overrated.
Yeah, well, apparently making money may help.
Making money
lights
does
on.
it, though.
Keeps the lights on. I don't know. It
Keeps doing this podcast.
buys
doesn't it?
food.
Yeah, again. Sustenance is
Funds my
overrated.
horse racing issues.
Your empire.
We'll get going here on some Auburn athletics, but first of all, Drew, any drink of choice today, or are you just hanging out?
I think I'm just going to hang out since it's Sunday. I just got done a few hours ago watching Auburn run out of pitching once again on the weekend. I want to say it's by no fault of their own because they're just in that health situation but just like I said, if you read my article on College of Magnolia, I said Auburn needs to get healthy on the pitching side. Cody Greenhill comes back on Friday. Auburn wins an extra game as opposed to last weekend when this exact same situation played out. Auburn's just kind of in a limbo waiting for Jack Owen and Richard Fitz to come back. So I had a beverage during that, and since it's a school night, it's a little bit late for me. But
Fair.
I'll more than make up for it this weekend because, and I don't know if you know this, I am taking a trip down south and making a stop for some blessed lemonade.
I did not know that.
Along the way, and all weekend I will be sitting with your favorite old man watching basketball and pulling against Alabama. So that'll be my weekend next weekend.
Good times. So we'll start with the baseball because you kind of hit on last week, and I actually want to start back last week because we didn't do a show, and there's a lot to unpack over the last few weeks.
To unpack.
So the last we talked to you guys about Auburn baseball, the Round Rock Classic had just finished up. Auburn went 1-2 at the Classic, beating A&M, losing to Oklahoma and Baylor. Come back home, midweek game.
Midweek game.
Won first midweek game.
I'm sorry, that was Alabama A&M I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
The
UAB was this past week. I thought there was one before that too.
I'm trying to remember.
I've got the schedule right here. I could probably tell you that in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So Auburn comes home midweek game against Jacksonville State. It got rescheduled. It was supposed to be. Then we were going to play Xavier for a weekend 4-game set. Well, there were some COVID issues within the Xavier program, which meant Xavier had to bug out. Kind of hard to fill a schedule that late, because we really found out just a couple of days ahead of time.
It would have been late Tuesday afternoon when the coaching staff found out.
Instead, Auburn actually may have gotten a strength of schedule boost. And we told you guys that Xavier series was not going to be easy. Boston College had their series, which was a conference series.
With Wake Forest.
With Wake
Forest.
Which
was going to be a premier matchup last weekend.
Well, so Wake Forest had COVID issues. Boston College needs somewhere to play. May not recognize this, folks. Boston College is 18th in the country.
Yeah.
They're pretty good baseball program.
Very good baseball program. Already took 2 of 3 from Duke. I'm not sure what they did this past weekend, but I'll have that in a second.
Long story short, on last minute notice, they said, yeah, we'll come down to Plainsman Park. And all of a sudden, you got a top 25 matchup at Plainsman Park last week that I don't think anyone thought about. I thought, quite frankly, that the best competition Auburn would face outside of the SEC this year would have been in Round Rock. Turns out, that series against Boston College, the Tigers dropped 2 of the 3, but we got to start on Sunday because Auburn should have won 2 of 3. Correct. Friday night, Boston College just pounded Auburn. Pounded Auburn.
Pitching for Boston College on Friday night was really, really impressive, and the offense just never could get going.
But Saturday, roles reversed. Auburn wins like 16-1, 16-2.
16-1.
Yeah, something stupid like that. We get to Sunday. Auburn has an 8-run lead with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Yep.
And can't close the game out. And if you've been listening to us, we've been saying the back end of the bullpen, the deeper we get into the pen, especially on Sunday, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Now, you still got to be able to close down an 8-run lead with 2 outs. I don't care if I'm on the mound throwing that baseball. Somebody throw an Ephus pitch up there. Just throw an Ephus pitch. Do what you got to do. Just get the outs. Henry Rowan Gardner float that thing. Auburn loses in extras last Sunday. It had to be one of the more disappointing losses I can remember in a long time for baseball, Drew.
Yeah. I actually got a chance to talk to or ask a question of Carl Nunemaker, Auburn's defensive coach. If you want to call him the defensive coordinator, you can do that behind Tim Hudson, who's the pitching coach. And my main question to him was, what's the overall morale of the team, especially after, a series that you should have gotten. And this is the second weekend, this was the second weekend in a row. And I guess you could throw into Sunday's game against Little Rock as well, of having a lead and then losing it and not being able to climb your way back into it. He said that the overall morale is good. And that Tuesday's game at UAB, which we'll talk about here in a second, really did a lot to boost that, because it showed that they could get back into games, because that was a game that Auburn had in hand as well. And then, in fact, Joseph Gonzalez was throwing a perfecto through 5 innings, gave up a leadoff double, and that's when they pulled him. And gave it to, I believe, Brooks Fuller, and Brooks just could not get anything across the plate. But we'll talk about that game later. No, it's at the point where with Auburn's pitching staff, you're throwing guys that would be Tuesday or Wednesday guys, especially on Sundays, which is very, very concerning for. As next weekend Auburn goes to Oxford, which will be no easy task.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, really. The number 4 team in the country. They've been ranked number 1 until a team called UCF ran up against them, which Auburn baseball fans know pretty well from last season. But no, you're talking about Cody Greenhill coming out. First and foremost, Auburn starters, even throwing in those Tuesday games, Auburn starters have done very well. I believe nobody's thrown less than 4 innings from the starter role this year, which is very, very good, especially when you throw in all the games, including the Tuesday midweekers. And mostly on those Friday and Saturdays, everybody's getting into the 5th inning, working into the 5th inning, including today, Trace Bright through, I think, 4 2/3. So you're seeing the starters eat up it at least get you to the halfway-ish mark, which is what you're wanting. But Auburn's having to eat through now, because Mason Barnett would be one of those guys that would eat up the back half. even Trace Bright would be one of those guys eating up the back half, because you would have Richard Fitz going 4.5 or 5. You would have Jack Owen going 5, maybe 6, because Jack's got 6 in him. Not a problem. And also you're talking about Cody Greenhill coming off of that ankle injury back at the Round Rock Classic. So Auburn kind of had him on a pitch count, but again, when we point the finger at the Auburn pitching staff, this is also an Auburn pitching staff that didn't allow a runner to third base until today against Little Rock.
Yeah.
Little Rock had one runner in scoring position all weekend coming into this game. And that was a runner that came that I think doubled. And then Auburn shut him down. So you're talking about a disappointing loss today. But we're still talking about Boston College. You have to be able to get that one out. You have to be able to get the 26th out, no matter where you are. 27. I'm sorry. To only get 26 outs. But you have to be able to shut it down. And whether that's Seb Thomas, whether that's Brooks Fuller, whether that's whoever you want to throw out there, one of the younger arms that are just getting their feet wet. It's a demoralizing blow, especially when it's a 9-1 lead. You're rolling into the 9th. You got one run in insurance coming into the inning. It's just a rough one.
I look at it because that's one of those games. Yeah, if we go 15-15 in conference, we're in the tournament.
Sure,
we're in the big dance.
Yeah,
14-16 gets a little dicey sometimes. 13-17 absolutely gets dicey. That's a game that can go a long way down the road, beating a top 20 team early in the season.
Yeah,
and you just lost it last second. Great win by Auburn to come back Tuesday, like you mentioned, and beat UAB. That's a game where UAB scored 4 times in the 6th to take a 4-2 lead.
Correct.
And as you mentioned, Auburn battled back, picked up a win up in Birmingham in our first true road game of the year, the actual first true road game. And then this weekend, we already talked about for a second, taking 2 out of 3 against Little Rock. Okay competition, not fantastic.
Up and coming program in the Sun Belt. They mentioned it on the SEC Network Plus broadcast, I believe, or yesterday on the Saturday in Game 2. They mentioned that in 2019, Little Rock beat Arkansas at Baum Stadium, which is any win. I don't care what day of the week it is. That's a big win, especially for a program that's trying to come up and make some noise. But a middle of the road Sun Belt team, but somebody that has the offense, and especially this year in college baseball, everybody's going to have players. Everybody's got players, so no game is an off game. And I'm not making excuses by any stretch. I think in my article coming into this game or this series, I said I'm expecting 2 out of 3. I would love a sweep just because for confidence sake, but I'm expecting 2 out of 3. And I was pretty much right, because after Trace Bright ran out of gas, Auburn couldn't find they found something in Hayden Mullins. Hayden Mullins looked really, really good.
Second straight outing he's done that, because he did it in the midweek game as well. Came in through 4 innings, struck out 8 in that midweek game.
Yes, and actually in that midweek game, Joseph Gonzalez struck out 7 for a combined 15 strikeouts for Auburn pitching. Today, Joseph just didn't have it. Brooks Fuller just didn't have it. And that'll happen. They're young guys. It just happens. Even to the best pros, it happens. So, but Hayden Mullins looked really good in his second outing. I thought Trace Bright looked good in his for the 3rd weekend in a row. Really, he just ran out of gas in the 5th, and it caught up to him kind of quickly, which that happens as well. But I liked how Cody looked. I like how Mason Barnett looked on the mound. Thought Auburn's defense played really well, and the offense came to play. Auburn's got to have that in next weekend series at Ole Miss, though.
Look at the next 2 weeks or so of Auburn baseball on the way. So Lipscomb comes to town this weekend. That's a better Lipscomb team than you might think.
Yes.
Out of
living in Nashville, they are a good ball club, so that'll be a tough challenge for Auburn.
That's a midweek game on Tuesday. Auburn, as you mentioned, goes to Ole Miss next week to start SEC play.
Mm-hmm.
Then a game in Montgomery, but not the traditional Montgomery game against Alabama. It's going to be South Alabama coming up to Montgomery to play at Riverwalk Stadium. I'm assuming that game is going to be at Riverwalk Stadium. I can't imagine it playing at Patterson Field.
I don't think so. No, I think it's at Riverwalk. I think that's Riverwalk.
If Patterson Fields hadn't been condemned yet, I'd be shocked.
I was about to say, I think we're going to skip. We're already trying to get the vaccine for everybody. We don't want tetanus shots for everybody as well. No, we don't. We'll play at Riverwalk.
You know what was so funny about? I'm going to sidebar here because I grew up a block and a half from Patterson Field. The Division II College World Series used to be there every year as a kid.
Yeah.
Wooden benches, crappy tiny locker rooms because the place was built in the 40s. The playing surface was one of the best playing surfaces I've ever seen in my life. Always just beautifully manicured playing surface. Could never understand.
So because in my head I've driven by it, but I've never been inside of it. I'm imagining like Memorial Stadium in Columbus. Like,
it's worse.
It's
worse. As far as like a stadium, Memorial in Columbus is way nicer. I've called a game in both, man. I'm telling you.
Have you ever called a game at the Catfish Stadium right there on the river?
Wait, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of, not Memorial in Columbus.
Yeah, no. I'm thinking about like Memorial Football Stadium.
Oh, I've never been there. Yes, where the Catfish plays. Yes, I have called.
That's actually not a terrible stadium.
Yes, but I've called.
It's not good, but it's not terrible.
But I have called baseball at Patterson Field before. The press box is scary because it kind of leans over everything. It's still kind of wooden and rickety.
Yeah.
But yeah, the playing surface for whatever reason was always gorgeous. Beautifully manicured. I mean, but anyway, after that South Alabama game, Auburn will come home and play the first SEC series of the year against Kentucky. You got to think that's a winnable series for the Tigers.
It's, to be honest, when you look at Auburn's schedule as it lays out, and you have to remember that Richard Fitz and Jack Owen are going to be coming back, so Auburn should have a better pitching rotation and know who to go to and know when to go to them in the next week to 2 weeks. Kentucky is probably, I'm trying to think real quick in my head. Kentucky's probably the easiest series, and that's,
besides the Mizzou series?
Yeah. The only reason why I like Kentucky's series better is because it's at home, and Auburn goes on the road to Mizzou. And Mizzou's getting a lot of good challenges. I don't think Mizzou's that great. I think that's a road series that Auburn can win. But I like the Kentucky series better just because it's at home.
I look at it this way. If Auburn come out of these first two SEC series, 3-3, that's a win.
There we go. Now you're doing the math.
Either sweep and sweep or 2-1, 1-2, however it comes about. But if you come out of these first 6, 3-3, knowing that you've gone on the road to Ole Miss already, and knowing what's coming up after, because you're on the road to Arkansas and then Mississippi State, and then an improved Alabama team after that.
And Mississippi State's at home.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
On the road to Arkansas. I thought you were saying on the road too.
Home to Mississippi State, and then you get an improved Alabama team after that.
A very much improved, even though they had a rough go of it this weekend against Stetson. I need to pull that up.
And that doesn't even get into the Florida aspect of everything beyond that. So,
and LSU and Texas A&M again. And
these first, the whole schedule's crazy.
Yeah.
But realistically, the first 15, the first half of the SEC schedule, if we somehow get out 7 and 8, count your blessings.
Yep.
Unless the pitching staff gets real healthy real quick.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll wrap up. That kind of wraps up the baseball conversation real quick. We are recording this on Sunday the 14th, which means when you hear this tomorrow, Saturday or Monday the 15th, it is officially the start of spring practice.
Yes,
football. We are back to it. Brian Harsin. We're going to get our first look at what a Brian Harsin team looks like. A-Day, April the 17th.
Yep.
15 practices on the way. We've seen videos of weightlifting come out, and it just feels different.
It does.
Than when Gus was here.
It does.
I know they can make a hype video feel like a hype video. I get that.
Sure.
But it just, even listening to Harsin speak to them, to the players, it just feels a little bit different.
I mean, as a pro wrestling guy, could this just be a repackaging? Sure. This could be William Regal as he's a mighty man.
This could be me getting promised an exploding death match and then have sparklers go off at the end of the night. And
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then
Tony Khan.
Yeah, and then having the executive owner, whoever he is, go, yeah, this is pretty much what we've had to plan because
you didn't want people to die. You promised me a death match.
You said death match. You said the words.
You said exploding barbed wire death match,
which I did get exploding barbed wire. That's not bad. I'm not upset about that.
But don't promise me an exploding ring for half an hour and then nothing happens.
You can't tell me that if the match ends before, or if the match lasts 30 minutes, then all the explosions will go off. And literally, you gave me the Great Khali's entrance.
It was Gilbert's entrance.
It was Gilbert's entrance. It really was. It was floating sparklers. And then you had and the worst part, and God bless him, as we sidebar a little bit, God bless Excalibur.
A little bit, we're way out of this.
I know. God bless Excalibur for going, oh God, it was so lethal. And the sell job by
Eddie Kingston just covering him.
I passed out.
My favorite Eddie Kingston sell job is actually the video afterwards where Moxley's giving a speech to the crowd. He's like, well, that dude can't build a bomb. And Eddie Kingston's still over here acting like he just died.
Give him some water. And they throw a bottle of water in there and just kind of pour it off on him. Okay, whatever, man. Sell job, baby. Do that sell. Okay,
anyway.
But football practice. Wow. Could it be a repackaging? Sure. I don't think so. I don't get that feel.
No.
It feels like there is actual, and I know that there was actual work with Gus. But it's like
there was.
Yeah, I mean, if Alabama was at home and we played well against Georgia.
I don't know if you saw this, but Anthony Schwartz the other day put out a tweet. It's really interesting. And it basically said, we practice all these routes, we just never ran them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, my man ain't wrong because...
Well, no, I know we didn't run them. I'm more interested that we practiced them.
No, well, but that's the thing. And that was as somebody that's close but not inside, but knows the people that are inside and hears from the people inside. That's what we were always told. Well, I mean, they're running these routes, and I mean, the defense just doesn't know what's hitting them. All right, man. Well, we'll see it on Saturday. Yeah, I hope so. I hope we see it on Saturday, and then we get straight go routes for Seth. And he beats an Ole Miss defender.
I've heard from multiple people inside the program that on more than one occasion, a Friday night, we'd scrap literally the entire game plan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the Whirlybird came from.
Yeah. Yep.
So, back to Brian Harsin.
Tell me that because there are a couple of Auburn games that I've never watched. There really are. And it's a handful.
They were played in 1922.
Yeah, well, most of them were. Which, don't get me wrong, if you can give me video of that 1913 or 1918 team, holy crap, I'd watch the hell out of it. Was the Whirlybird in reference to that Clemson game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Opener in 2016? Yeah.
I still have not watched a play from that game.
You've never actually seen the Whirlybird?
No.
I have to send you this GIF.
No,
I have to send you the GIF.
No, you don't. I don't want to see it.
I'm going to send it to you while we're on the air, and you're going to watch it, and I want to hear your reaction.
No,
yes.
I don't.
No, you're going to do this, Drew. This is part of the show. I'm sorry. This is market research or part of the show. You have it's one play. He actually did it multiple times, but you got to see it at least once.
Because I knew what was coming. And so my wife really wanted to go to this outdoor concert here in Nashville. And I went.
I remember that now.
And Auburn, and I was just like, just tell me what's happening. If Auburn keeps it close, awesome. Because that's all I'm looking for. I'm just looking for like an 18, 19.
Well, I mean, we kept it close.
We did keep it close. if we actually played like an offense, we might have won that game.
Should have won the game. We still were throwing into the end zone to win the game.
I remember. Because there was that one play. I did see the very last play. I do have to admit. But as far as the entire game, I went, nah, I'm fine.
I found the gift, Drew.
Oh God.
Oh wait, no, that's not it. Hold on, let me get it. I will find this, and you're gonna love every second of it.
Well, now I will, because I don't have to go. Yep, that's my coach next year. Yay! That's my A-day. Yay!
Back to Brian Harsin.
Yes, but back to Brian Harsin. I'm interested. I cannot, and I can't believe that these words are going to come out of my mouth. I am excited to watch A-Day just from a fundamental standpoint for Bo Nix and the other quarterbacks for that matter. Again, we've talked about it since the hire and since everybody has declared whether they're coming back or going to the NFL or transferring or what have you. This is 1981. This isn't even, we're not even in 1982 yet for Brian Harsin. This is a who's ready to man up, who wants to build the foundation, who wants in, because while it's not going to be easy for Brian Harsin, especially with the empires that are being built around him who have already been established, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, but the up and comings at Ole Miss, LSU is crumbling, rebuilding, looking okay, then falling, then having another coach from a previous coach hit on 17-year-old women and taking them to a hotel and getting fired. I don't know what they're doing. Texas A&M is an up and coming, and even though they shot their wad this year, and they're in a rebuilding mode now. You can still do it, but it's going to take 2 or 3 more years, in my opinion, to get it where he wants it. So I'm looking for the fundamentals of offensive line looking a little bit more cohesive, Bo looking calmer in the pocket, or can somebody push him? That's what I will be watching.
That's my serious hope, is somebody does push him. Before we go further,
yes.
A text just arrived on Drew McCracken's phone. Folks, we're going to let him play-by-play what he sees here. Just get live reaction. So tell me when you're watching.
I don't know who has the ball. I see
from the snap.
So I see a pirouette at the 10.
That's who has the ball. That's Chandler Cox.
Why does Chandler Cox have the ball?
Why is he taking a direct snap, but then why is he pirouetting? I can't believe you've never seen this. Drew, we ran this like 4 times that night.
Why? It didn't work the first time. He got 2 yards. Did he ever give it off?
Oh, no.
Like, did he give it off because it's a triple option read?
No, he never gave it off.
Why? Was that not a part of practice either?
Whee! I can't believe you've never seen that.
Just call it the dreidel play. He just spins in the backfield and whee. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
terrible.
That makes my heart happy that you just saw that. I can't believe you. Oh, for the first time.
Now, don't get me wrong. I've heard of the
heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I never heard it called the Whirlybird. I just heard, Chandler Cox takes the direct snap, or Cox at QB or whatever.
You should also know we ran that from inside our own 3 at one point.
Why? I can't think of a legitimate strategic reason that would make some. How did he make it off the field without somebody shooting him? Literally, I've seen more games in that stadium than I can count. How did no one take out an assault rifle and end everything right there? Holy crap. And don't get me wrong, the moment that I saw that play and saw it run again, I would have turned off the TV. I would have turned off the game. That would have been it.
Anyway, yeah, I'm with you. I really do hope a quarterback can push Brandon Cox because I think he needs the competition. He's really, once he took the job and beat out Joey Gatewood, there's been no one to push him.
No.
And I feel like he's gotten a little too complacent. He tries, and I respect that. And I think part of it could be scheme that could be holding him back. I don't think we necessarily used his talents right, except for maybe that LSU game last year. We actually had him running. And
yeah.
But LSU was really bad, you know? So that helps. Yeah, I'm interested to see that. I'm really not concerned about the defense. Just not. There's a lot. If we get a pass rush at all, the defense could be lights out next year because the back seven's real good. All the question marks are on the offensive side. Does the quarterback have growth this year? Can the offensive line keep them standing up? The only question mark actually is the Tank Bigsby. The only non-question mark. Sorry, the only non-question mark is Tank Bigsby.
Yeah,
and the question mark behind him is who's behind him if he goes down.
Yeah,
I don't know who that is right now.
I mean, right now, I guess
Sean Shivers. He still hasn't. Yeah, I heard rumors he might transfer out of the program, but he's still around.
No, Sean Shivers is not going to transfer, at least up until this point. There were rumors and swirling and everything, but
I got a feeling he wants to see how he might get used in this offense and actually have a shot at trying to do a little more.
Because because he's a muscular Darren Sproles to me.
Oh yeah,
and I mean,
we've only seen him really turn the Jets on one time in 2+ years.
Yeah.
And that was the breakout against Bama a few years ago that got called all the way back.
Yep.
That's the only time that we've ever really seen him out in the open field loose.
Yep. Where you and I both texted each other, that's what I want. I want that. That's what I want.
And you got to think if Harsin and company find a way to get him the ball a little more, he's probably, and I don't think he's a guy that's going to be out there begging for 20 touches a game.
No,
but just an opportunity to showcase what he can do.
10 to 15 spell.
Not even 10. I think if you give him 8 to 10 touches a game, give him a couple of chances a quarter to break one, either in the screen game, whatever. I don't care.
Oh man, him in the screen game is a scary aspect. Holy crap. I'm just playing it in my head and I go, oh, yeah, daddy uphill.
Yeah, I mean, he's strong already, but let him run out there in some free space and see what the hell happens.
Yeah.
But there's just not a lot of depth in that running back room right now.
No. And I know that Auburn's looking into the transfer portal for somebody. I know that Auburn still has a couple of spots open to where they can take advantage of some of the late transfer guys or some guys that maybe got overlooked during the recruiting process, or somebody that's just really just wanting an opportunity for a season or so. I'm interested to see what happens there, but yeah, I'm not. We're back to the days of I'm not worried about the defense because I know Derek Mason, who is probably, if not the best, one of the top 3 defensive coordinators in the country.
Yeah, not worried about
at all levels.
Not worried about.
Not worried about the defense.
All right, so before we wrap up out of here, we do want to hit on one thing with basketball. The season came to an end a couple of weeks ago. Some news this week. We have been talking for a while about, what's Auburn going to look like next year with a shooter back? Justin Powell is not going to be coming back to the Auburn basketball program. He's transferring. The early rumor is he is heading to Kentucky, or that's where he wants to go. Apparently, he wants his shot ruined by Tony Barbee. Don't know why.
To each their own.
There's been the story of concussion all year long. I don't have a reason to doubt that, but it's a little fishy.
It looks very fishy. I get being homesick. I get wanting to go back home and play. That's fine. That's whatever. But if after 2 weeks of sitting out, you went, no, I'm good. I'm gonna head home after you had a great couple of first half of the season.
I don't know. I don't know that that's accurate. That happened or not. Like, I'm not going to accuse.
I don't know.
I don't know. It just looks optically odd.
It's a very weird look.
Yeah.
For Powell. And don't get me wrong, I won't lay this at I won't say that it's also fishy from Bruce's angle or anything like that, because you're trying to take care of the player. You care about the kid, and you don't want to say, well, he's just done. He didn't want to get pushed by Sharif.
This they play opposite. They don't play the same position.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think of something.
Like, if he, you would think he'd want to come back next year with a true point guard.
Yeah,
because Powell's a shooting guard.
Yeah,
he's a guy that he plays better off the ball. So I don't know. A little interesting.
Very
how it all went down.
Very weird. I'm interested whenever I hear like what happened. I'm interested whenever that breaks of how that sounds and looks.
I would also like to point our attention, and I hate giving them credit for anything, but right now the state of Alabama runs basketball in the SEC over the last. Yeah.
Well, if you want to,
it's weird.
Is this where we have Kay Ivey go to Alabama and deliver? This state runs the college basketball with Auburn going to the Final Four and SEC tournament champions last year, and now Alabama, kind of like Bentley did with the national championship back in 2010.
God. Yeah. I mean, hopefully they get bounced in the first round, and I can laugh and laugh and laugh
because who the coach they're playing.
I don't even know who they're playing. So
they're playing the Iona Gales in the first round.
Okay. Is that where Mark Godfrey is now?
No, even better.
Did Wimp Sanderson come back from the dead?
with the jacket. So in the press conference, somebody said, "Hey, coach, how long will it take to beat Alabama?" And he said, about 30 or 40 Patinos.
Oh, Richard Pitino, huh?
Richard Pitino will be taking on the Crimson
I thought
Tide.
he was hanging out over in like Italy or Greece or something.
Nah, man. Homeboy came back, and he's the head ball coach for the Iona Gales.
30 or 40. That's 15 seconds. Let me do the math. I don't know.
Do that math.
That's going to be enough. That's not going to be enough time there.
It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not going to be enough.
That's an interesting coaching matchup.
Because the last time, I believe, if my math is correct, I saw somewhere.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere the last time Alabama played or won the SEC regular season or made it to the SEC tournament championship, Rick Pitino beat him in the first round or beat him in the NCAA
Providence?
tournament. Like knocked him out of the NCAA tournament.
While they were at Providence?
Either at Providence or when he was at Louisville, because
no, he went to Louisville way later,
like 2002, because Alabama played in the SEC tournament in 2002 final.
I don't think he was there at that point. I think he was at the Celtics.
I'll have to find out. I'll get you that quote. But the last time Alabama was really good, Rick Pitino knocked him out of the NCAA tournament. It might have been in Kentucky, just when they were, as the brackets minimized down.
So obviously Auburn's not in the tournament this year. We are self-imposed ban.
Yep.
It kind of feels unusually natural to be outside of the basketball tournament. It's like, oh yeah, things are back to where they,
It was weird today because I was walking my dog and got her. We went and ran around in the creek and everything like that so that I could give her a bath. Because she's going to be riding with me, and there will be photos of Clayton at Auburn University. I'm going to see if we can get her in section 111 because the baseball team should be leaving that day. So hopefully the ballpark's open. I'm going to get her to sit in one of our section 111 seats. But I was walking the dog and I went, I feel like I should be excited for this day. Like normally I'm like, even when Auburn was bad, I would, all right, I'm going to get my chips and I get my pizza and I'm going to sit down and watch. And today I was just like, I'll watch it, but
I've had the weirdest feel about this basketball season. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other night. It just, with no fans.
Yeah.
Everything now in Indiana for the whole thing, it just feels weird. And I haven't really been paying that close of attention to the overall college basketball landscape like I usually would. it didn't even hit me that it was Selection Sunday today. Like I got up, I called a baseball game today for a small college I do some work for here in town. And I was like checking my phone on something during a half inning break, and I go, "Oh, selection today." Oh, okay. I still haven't seen a bracket. It's 7:30 Central Time as we record this on Sunday night. I still have not even seen a bracket.
I've got
don't
bad
know who's
news
playing
for
who.
you. I've got bad news for you as well. Texas is the 3 seed in Alabama's bracket, so you might be hooking them
root for
horns.
Texas.
You might have to root for Texas.
Ah.
Sorry, bud. And Michigan is also in Alabama's bracket.
See, my problem for so the problem for me with Texas being good at basketball is Texas is building a new stadium, new arena. It's going to be smaller than the one they currently have.
Smart.
By about 5,000 or 6,000 seats, kind of like what Auburn did, right?
Yeah, smart.
Well, the problem is right now I can go to a Texas game dirt cheap, like
for about $30.
No. I watched them play UConn for $6, and I had like first row, upper level, perfect seats, perfectly fine. Perfect. I think I've paid face value at Texas 3 times in 10 years for basketball. Michigan State, Kansas, and North Carolina. That's it.
That's not a bad call.
Every other game I've ever been to, and I've seen them play West Virginia. I saw them play Alabama one time, actually.
Yep.
UConn. I've seen them play Villanova. $6 or $7. It was great. It's great.
Oh,
so I don't want the small arena because I like my cheap basketball.
Yeah. That's understandable. But the only other thing that I have for you, just on the quick blush, and things I know you care about with the NCAA tournament, Michigan State will play on Thursday against UCLA in a play-in game.
Yeah, I saw they made the first 4. Married into the Michigan State family, so got to cheer for them.
Green.
Do hope they do well. Still one of the most insane things is I was living in Michigan when they made the final championship game in Detroit. Good luck getting a ticket to that game. That was pretty insane. And then they got waxed by North Carolina.
Yeah, they did.
Anyway, that'll wrap up the show tonight, guys. We don't. That's pretty much everything as far as big stuff goes. Alabama did sweep Auburn in softball, by the way. Kind of to be expected. Bama's top 4, top 5 in the country right now.
And Auburn's very, very young on the diamond.
Yeah,
very
especially
young
on the softball side.
Yeah.
So lots to learn there. We'll be back next week. So we'll kind of recap opening weekend of SEC baseball next week with Auburn on the road at Ole Miss. We'll have a week full of hopefully stories from spring practice to talk about as well.
Yeah.
And start diving into how things may be shaking out. Don't know how much we'll learn. That's going to be the other question is how open is Brian Harsin going to be to questions versus Malzahn's regime? This is that first true test of getting feel and understanding out of the program.
Yeah. No, this is where the feeling out process will really begin, because with COVID and everything like that, the beat writers that everybody knows really have not had a chance to go in and talk to the guys. So this will be their first real opportunity to really kind of sit down and talk with them, because some of the beat reporters will be allowed to go and watch some of practice. So we'll get some video, we'll get some audio questions, talk to some folks, everything like that, as more people get the as it was thrown to me this week, the Fauci ouchie.
The Fauci ouchie, man.
I had not heard that one, and man, did that make me laugh. So as more people get the vaccine, did you see Louisiana's regulations to where if you're 16 and older and have a cold, like you can get the shot?
I got to go to Louisiana.
Other health concerns or anything else, and 16 years old, there you go.
I'm planning to go to baseball and a soccer game in Denver next month. I got to get my shot, man. I don't know if they're going to hold off on stuff.
No, at some point, which is why I went on ahead and got mine, other than my parents have got one, my wife's got one. I want a couple of other people to go on ahead and get theirs, because now my circle, my inner circle, my 3 have gotten theirs. Now I need my secondary circle to get theirs, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not on the list yet. That's the problem. They haven't reached my eligibility.
I know you can only do what you can do. You can always come to Tennessee, because I've got a county that they aren't using a thing. I I drove an hour and got mine like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're starting to ramp up here, but it's gonna take a while. So it's fine.
It's fine.
Anyway, everybody stay safe. Do get your shots out there. If you're listening, go get yourself vaccinated so that way we can have a full and rocking Jordan-Hare Stadium by this coming fall. Think about your children that they need to experience that. Don't let them go another year. Let's make sure Brian Harsin and crew understand what they signed up for in week 1 when that happens. And especially get your shots because, damn it, I want to go to Happy Valley.
Yeah. I don't know if I told you this, Brad, but whenever they it's like a little exit thing, why did you get your shot? And I said, so I can go to Happy Valley. And I'm sorry, what? I said, Auburn plays Penn State on September 18th. I have to be there.
Yeah.
I want my shot so we can go.
Yeah.
And they went, and I said, and my family. I want to keep them safe. They were,
that too. But damn it, I'm going to Happy Valley.
But it's kind of like when we go to Berkeley. Yeah, I want to go to Berkeley to go watch football. I also want to go play Pebble Beach.
That's probably going to happen.
I want to do Pebble Beach, and then I want to go watch football.
Yeah, she's going to put the stimulus check away. And just
I was about to say,
that'll cover
what stimulus check?
That one stimulus check will just cover Pebble Beach and take you.
Just go ahead and put it in the bank and just start accruing interest, and then you can at least
what
get
interest?
$5. I know
the stock market
$5.
Yeah, just throw it in there. Stock market will work for it. We'll just do
Put
that.
it on GameStop. Yeah, just throw it on GameStop. You'll be fine.
All right, so that'll wrap up this week, guys. Stay safe out there. Get your shots. Stay healthy, and we'll talk again next week. For Drew, I'm Brad. Y'all take care. See you later. War Eagle.
War Eagle.